My beautiful coffee. Welcome to Raw Talk. 2 links down below as always. One for the video recap right from WWE, and the other one's the text results that I consolidate from. But I have my own notes as well because oftentimes it happens where they just omit stuff completely. Matches are completely missing. So that's where I come in. And we see how well that's going. So Gunther starts off the show in the ring. I mean, here it looks like he's on the outside of the ring, but he starts off in the ring, an in-ring promo with Jackie Redmond, and she asks him about what happened last week with attacking Damian Priest and how he seems to have lost his pizzazz and his level of confidence. He was lost for words. He didn't talk. And it's definitely been noticeable, and Gunther's been doing a great job of playing that angle, obviously. And then Damian Priest came out with a really good promo, got into his face, but then he also ended up having in his face a microphone that he received from Gunther. Oh, that's a hot but delicious coffee. And then Damian Priest was able to capitalize and do a razor's edge on the announce table. And that's what you're seeing there. Bianca backstage with Naomi, Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky discussing who should be the 5th member at War Games. Jade Cargill out with a real supposed neck injury that had nothing to do with the car that we saw her on the hood there a couple of weeks ago, or was it last week? That was just to play the angle to put it into the story, but allegedly the actual injury is real. Tornado tag 2-on-2. Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus, I almost said Alpha Academy, versus American Made. And yeah, it was really, really good. I'm not gonna lie. For a quick second, I completely forget who in the hell was his partner. Creed brother. Oh, sorry. My goodness. I was like, I thought it was the Creed brother. Seriously. Okay, so the Creed brothers defeated Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee, in which it was a great match, but what ended up happening was at some point Chad Gable got involved, twisted Rey Mysterio's mask, and then he ended up getting pinned. That is what happened. And it was a wild match, and obviously it was a wild match. Anytime you have American Made, Chad Gable, Rey Mysterio, and all that, Dragon Lee, they are just so amazing. You expect literally nothing less. Judgment Day backstage. Finn is always on Dom's case, isn't he? Just like Priest was. And I simply believe that there is definitely something brewing in the long term of things. I think something's going to happen with Finn Balor and Damian Priest. He was also talking about how there's like no leaders, but he's kind of acting like an Xavier Woods, like the quarterback of the team. And I think that that's eventually going to backfire. But that's just speculation. And I'm sure a lot of people have been sensing that as well. So yeah. Braun Breaker versus Ludwig Kaiser. This was actually a really nice match. I enjoyed this a lot. Sheamus ended up coming out and attacking Kaiser. And then we ended up having Braun Breaker that wasn't happy with Sheamus interfering in his match. And then it ended up being an all-out brawl. Pierce comes out screaming, which was really funny with how he screams. And basically said, you all want to fight? Great, because that's Survivor Series, not at War Games. That's Survivor Series. It's going to be a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. And I really do believe that the good fella here, Sheamus, deserves to be a Grand Slam champion. It's the only title that's ever eluded him. I know that he's getting up there in age, but he's still in great shape. I still think he has a lot to give to the business, and I don't think it would do any harm to have him be a champion, even if for just a little while. War Raiders. Braun Breaker. Yeah, sorry. My goodness, I'm like really distracted and tired today. War Raiders. How about I just highlight the match that we're on? So, War Raiders versus the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and JD McNugget. as well. The tag champions. I think it's only the second time that they defend their titles since June, but I'm not 100% sure. I think that's what Michael Cole said. Dirty Dom, Carlito come out. These guys are doing really good. The War Raiders, don't forget, Eric had neck fusion surgery, like real stuff, not like pretend scripted stuff. Really had some crazy stuff happen. Same thing with, the other guy there. I forget his name off the top of my head just because I'm really tired. Ivar, I think is his name. Yes, in the back there, looking on. But yeah, they ended up losing. We could have seen new tag champions. I don't know if we're ready to have War Raiders be legitimate tag champs. I'm not saying that they can't do it. That's not what I'm saying, or that they wouldn't be believable. I do want to see JD and Finn defend more often. Absolutely. I don't want this to be the whole Logan Paul thing again. But yeah, this was pretty decent. This was great. New Day versus Alpha Academy. They were arguing at first, and then Xavier Woods ended up getting pinned like really, really fast. He tagged himself in. Kofi said he was going to go first. So Alpha Academy ended up winning, like with Otis and Akira Tozawa, I believe is his name. It helps if I remember his name. And I'm also glad that he's on TV more, because I really do like him a lot. Akira, that is. Camera follows the New Day backstage, where they exchange some really, some of the nastiest stuff they've ever said to each other. It helps if I could say what I've been trying to say. And again, you can watch it right here. Obviously, I would play it, but I don't want to get sued. Backstage, The Miz and Final Testament look for the Wyatt Six. And then Karrion Kross's wife says that she'll stay behind. Or actually, Karrion said you should stay behind. And The Miz like, should I do the same thing? And it was just funny because they like grab him by the arm. They're like, you're coming with us. And then Nikki Cross ended up being in the room, and she assaulted Karrion's wife. Which, again, off the top of my head, I am forgetting. Yeah, not going to bother trying to remember because it'll make the video twice as long. So yeah, Adam Pearce also during the show, and it was funny because I watched the whole show, but then it says earlier that night, and I was like, it didn't even make the main part of the show, where he unveiled the Women's Intercontinental Championship. So that's cool. You've got the Women's Tag, you've got the Women's Heavyweight Championship, one on each brand. Now you have the U.S. title and the Intercontinental title, and to me it should have always been that way, really, especially now that we've got quite a big roster. So that's pretty cool. I've already read some backlash about it, and honestly, I'm not too sure why, and I don't want to speculate and guess. I think sometimes people will automatically assume, oh, they just don't like women. I don't think it has anything to do with that in every case. It just might be that some people feel that there's just not enough of a strong roster. But I would argue that. I'm pretty confident that we do have a strong enough roster. So now we can have a couple of more women with some gold. There's some really good people that I think can be champ. I mean, you've got Rhea, you've got Charlotte Flair. I know she's out of action right now, but I'm just saying, yeah, I wish Trish Stratus would come back, but I don't think that's going to happen. That whole thing was kind of bizarre, talking about women. They were around for a while, if you remember. I think it was like a couple of years ago already. And then there was like the whole thank you, Trish. Yeah, you can thank me. And then she attacked Lita, and then Lita just disappeared. She never came back, never got her revenge or anything like that. And then Trish just kind of poof into thin air. Never came back. There was no like send-off or anything. I thought that was kind of bizarre. But anyways. Bianca Belair versus Nia Jax. This was a good match. Bianca, I wonder if she'll have to relinquish the tag championship because of that thing that I stated earlier. As we all know, Jade Cargill out with a real injury. And I forget if I've mentioned this earlier. Neck injury, allegedly. And the minimum people are looking at is 3 months. Someone said it could be up to a year, which is like very, very devastating. I don't know if they're going to do the whole like, who was Chelsea Green with before as a tag champ? And then Piper Niven just kind of inserted herself into the picture. You have Solo Sikoa, who stripped the Wolverine Jacob Fatu of his tag championship and just gave it to Tongaloa? Loatan. Yeah, the other guy. Okay. So I wonder if there's going to be some flexibility there and if Bianca's going to be able to choose another tag partner. Just having to relinquish them would be absolutely stupid. Obviously, if it's a singles title, great. But as long as you're able to find a partner, I don't know who that would be. But it would be pretty interesting if it was Bayley. So speaking of the match, Bayley comes out at one point while Nia Jax is on the ropes showboating. Had her fall. Bianca Belair does her magic, picks up the 1, 2, 3. Kind of smiled at each other after because, as you know, there's a bit of history, obviously, with Bianca and Bayley from when she was with Damage Control and that trust thing. So perhaps there's some more trust established now. I don't know. But yeah, I enjoyed myself as always. Some shows I'm going to like more than others. That's always going to be the case. There's always going to be some stuff that I don't like, and sometimes I'll mention it. But all in all, I do try to keep things positively for the most part, unless there's something like really, really obvious that I don't understand or that makes no sense to me. Then, of course, I'll elaborate on it. But I don't want to just be constantly like shit posting all the time. It's not fun to do that. Thumbs up as always if you liked the video. It does greatly help support the channel with the algorithm in trying to make me more relevant in the search results when people are looking shit up online. Thumbs down if you didn't like it. I'll bend it in half, twist it, get the Solo Sikoan spike right in the back end. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, naturally that would be great. But if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care, and if I'm lucky, maybe I shall see some of you in the next video. Bye for now.